Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
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 All right, Christina, do we have a quorum?
As of right now, you're the only one that's here. I just talked to Alan. He's getting into his computer now to log in. I'm going to call Georgina and Gabe. I know Shauna did decline the invitation for the meeting.
All right, so we have Alan in, so we just need one more.
So then we need to do, we can subtract them, add in those characters. Yeah. Does that help the payroll for add them in there. So the reform block is okay. Okay.
Georgina finally logged on, so now we have a quorum.
Okay.
We'll get an answer from Gabe.
Okay. So now that we have a quorum, I will call the meeting to order. Can I get a roll call?
Krutik Bakta,
Present.
Alan Mayfield,
Here.
Georgina Ortega Angel,
Here.
Gabriel Garcia, and Shauna Sandoval. We do have a quorum.
All right. Right, approval of agenda. We're missing a big item on there, and that was we were supposed to get a report from the marketing committee on our marketing plan. When it's not on there. Are we getting a presentation from the marketing committee today? That was the big idea. This was the date.
Yes, so on the agenda, when I did it, I put request approval of the marketing plan. It was actually going to be the presentation of the marketing plan from the marketing committee.
Okay.
That was the only change I needed to do on the approval of agenda.
Okay, so you want one of us to make that adjustment so we are getting a presentation?
Yes.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to add that to the agenda.
So moved.
I second it.
All right, roll call.
Georgina Ortega Angel,
Yes.
Ellen Needfield.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. We'll change to the agenda.
He had to go home and take care of his kid.
Well, was he sick or what?
The kid got exposed.
Okay, and so I guess we didn't specify where in the agenda we want it. We could start off with it as the first item since we added it.
That's fine, but is Virginia on? Has she come on, or Margot Segura?
Yes, Leah, we're here. That's what the Montana just mentioned, that number 1 should be changed from request approval marketing plan to marketing plan presentation. Not necessarily added to the agenda, but just to adjust that from a request of approval to presentation.
Okay, I must have a different. I'm using the agenda from the completed packet sent October 8th. Was there another agenda sent after that?
I'm using the one that was posted on the website, so I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. So yeah, on the agenda I just have discussion items, and the first one says funding of applications. So I'm guessing there's a different agenda from that. I got it from Christina on October 8th, the completed packet.
I'm not too sure
Just
what
text
happened
me.
with that one. I know the packets that I sent you guys it does have the request approval for the marketing plan. Let me see if I can resend you the agenda so you can see see it.
So I'm presenting it for you right now, Krutik, and if you see, this is the one that's actually posted on the website. And it has one business item, which is the request approval of marketing plan,
Okay,
and it has the discussion items.
got it. Okay. That's fine. If you want to keep that there, and then it doesn't matter which one I have, I guess. As long as I know which one's this. So, okay. So yeah, let's go ahead with request approval of marketing plan and its presentation. Sorry, I can't jump to that. Approval of agenda, please. Roll call on that.
Alan Ayfield
Yes.
and Georgina Ortega Angel.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes with change.
All right. Any public input?
I did not receive anything.
All right. On to approval of minutes. Any discussion on the approval of minutes? All right. If there's not any questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. How about this? I motion to approve the minutes. Do I have a second? Can everybody hear me?
Critic, I wasn't at the meeting, so I shouldn't second this.
Okay.
Hello. Yes, I approve the minutes. My internet keeps dropping, guys. So I'm going to try and hold on as long as I can. Okay.
Okay. So you had a second on the approval of minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Roll call.
Georgina Ortega Angel.
Yes.
Alan Ayfield.
Yes.
And motion passes.
All right. Go down to finance report.
There you have it.
For those that don't know me, I'm Jesus Baquera, Finance Director for the city. I was asked to show up for this lodger's tax meeting and give you guys a finance report. Based on the activity for this fiscal year, revenues are at $176,212. Expenditures are at $64,604, leaving a net of $111,607. Anything else?
So I'm sorry, could you repeat the net there on the?
$111,607.
Okay. Yeah, that one sounds.
A question.
Yes, Frank.
Frank?
Yeah. Do you have a breakdown of what percentage of those expenditures are of the marketing versus other? Since 40% of it needs to be devoted to marketing, do you have a breakdown of how that was spent?
I've got it broken down as far as the city's chart of account. Yeah, I would need a little help from Montana to identify which is marketing and which is not, but we could get that percentage.
Yeah, we always need to be tracking it for lodger's tax, and so as long as we're within the guidelines for lodger's tax and how it's spent, the percentages that we need to absolutely spend on marketing, as long as those quotas are met, then we're good. So from an accounting standpoint, we always need to be looking at that to make sure that we're in line.
I can give you an update on the marketing and let you know the only marketing we've done is the 78,000 through New Mexico True.
True. Okay.
Oh, I apologize. I believe that Bill and Chuck, or I don't know who it was, but I believe they were working on billboards. So we also have the 7 billboards, but I'm not sure of the actual pricing on that.
Okay. And do we have any like report or anything as far as the finance report or seeing our budget and expenses, or is it in the packet? The finance report.
So what usually happened with the finance report was that Bill would get the finance report and put it together on, all the information. Mm-hmm. Since Bill is not with us right now, we're trying to kind of go about this to see how he was making it and going through what we have on the Tyler system and what was spent.
Yeah, and so going forward, I'm guessing whoever does the finance report, we just attach it with the packet, so when we have the report, it's easier for us to review it and see what's happening with finances. And what I'm hoping going forward is it's more of a financial way. I mean, so we're seeing what we budgeted, what we've spent, what our actuals are, just like a proper report that like accounting would give any other, or give council, maybe they report in that way. So maybe that could be some continuity or similarity, as if you were giving a finance report to council and how that report would be delivered, maybe the same way for lodger's tax.
Okay, most definitely. I will get with Montana to format that report for you guys.
All right. Any questions on finance report?
Yeah, Kritik, I understand the difficulty caused by changes in staff, but it's somewhat distressing not to really have much information on how we're spending our money, and that we're in fact piling up so much money when there's so many needs for marketing in this community. To have a net income of over $100,000 this year and not being able to put up wayfinding or do other marketing over the course of a couple of years is really distressing, and I think we need to find a way to make more progress to market this community.
Absolutely. Any other discussion on finance report? Are you still with us? Do we still have a quorum?
She dropped off, so we'll just give it a minute, see if she could get back on.
Yeah, I mean, it's been frustrating to say the least. We've had things on our plate that we've wanted to execute on, and that we've approved on as a board. For some of these things, it's been a struggle for us to not see some of these things come off the board. So I'm hoping that today will be a start of a marketing plan that we've been looking for quite some time now. So I'm looking forward to seeing or hearing the presentation. So I probably do need to get the quorum back, because the next item is a business. It's listed under business item. So if we can get her back.
And
Well,
she was able to log back on.
I'm back. It keeps dropping on me. I don't know why, but it does.
Okay. Did you have any other questions on the finance report?
No, I just got the tail end that they're going to try and give us a better report for the next time, something then comparable to the commissioners. So yes, I agree on that.
Okay. All right. With that being said, we can move on to the business items. Request approval of marketing plan. And for me, that's the discussion and presentation on marketing plan.
There it is. Okay, so I have Veronica Black, which is the chair of the marketing committee. I also have Margot Segura, which is the chair of the marketing committee today. Here to go over what they've come up with so far for the marketing plan. So let me go ahead and I'm going to bring it up for you so you guys can follow along with this. I'm just going to quickly go over it and then I'm going to let them go ahead and talk about it. Oh, that's not even it. Where is it? Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, it looks like this. Is this the one?
Oh, I don't know why it's not. Okay, while I'm getting this up, I'm just going to go over. So the marketing committee has been meeting since April. They've had 5 meetings, and in those 5 meetings, they did come up with a plan of where to play. They came up with actually 3 campaigns for the year, and then they also came up with a marketing plan on where to place these items. And if I could get it to open, I'll let. And out of all these items, what they did is they kind of chose. They chose some places that are not only local, but they're. I don't know that wasn't open. Okay, there we go. Okay, so they chose a few that are local, but then they also chose some that are national and some that actually are international. Oh. Okay, here we go. So here's the plan that they came up with. Of course, they were approved for $150,000 budget. And these are the main 18 placements they're looking at. You'll notice though there's 2 of them in here. Actually, there's 3 of them in here. There's the Albuquerque Journal Digital, the New Mexico United, and the Duke City Gladiators that are very expensive packages. So we're looking more into those before we confirm that we want those for the year. However, if you look at all these, the other 15 placements, like I said, besides that journal, this is kind of what they chose. And I'll let Margot and Veronica take it over and kind of go over everything for you.
Okay, so we were looking at the different costs of where these packages or these placements would go and how much they would cost. And as a committee, we went through the whole list that we had and decided that some we approved and some we decided that we need a little bit more information as to how it gets distributed and how many people actually see it and use it, and etc. So we have some that we have not selected yet, but we're working on that. And the New Mexico HU athletics, those are programs. That's the package that we can select that one, did we?
That one was the purple package that was selected. It was because it's a smaller package on that.
Right, right. And we went through all of these different.
Did it freeze? Because I don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything? Veronica, are you there?
I'm here. I can hear.
Okay, well, you can chip in anytime.
Oh, you're a pro. Go.
Well, the ones that we did approve are the ones that we were talking about at the very end. That's the ones Virginia did a breakdown. The ones that we did approve, that we're not waiting for information to discuss.
Am I still on? Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Georgina, we could hear you. I'm not sure if you could hear us. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to the very last page because there's 15 pages here, but the last page, Virginia did a good breakdown of the packages we approved, and that total for the budget was $70,958.94. We still need, if we approved everything that we were looking at, the budget would be $160,305.94. But that won't be the total budget because we still have to approve the pieces that we need information on.
Right. So, like Margot said, if you look at this top part here, it has the ones that were definitely selected, what we'll be getting for them, and the pricing for those. And then, so that comes out to 70,000. Then these are the additional ones that they may go with, they may be replaced. These are the ones, the last three are the ones that are really packages to be looked into, to be replaced, or whatever may come about. If you guys have any suggestions, they'd be willing to keep those in and use those.
Right.
So that one alone comes out to $89,347. So the combined total of the ones that they definitely want, and then with the ones that we're looking at, it's $160,305. So that's about $10,000, $10,305.94 over budget. But again, that's not the final decision. We're the one that's probably the final decision for now would be the $70,958.94. So that leaves us roughly about 60,000. 70,000 to play with.
And we had a discussion or started a discussion on, like, for example, printing a full page ad for the Grammys Award, and some were not for it at all because it felt it wasn't local, it wasn't just New Mexico, but others felt, like I feel, that to place an ad in the Grammys would be not only national, but it can go international, and a lot of it'd be good to attract talent to come out and visit.
Well, and the fact that fiestas, we usually bring in some, our headliner is usually a Grammy Award winner or somebody that was a nominated Grammy nomination. So it kind of fit down that line. Again, that's a big one that's going to be discussed more. So the main ones you're looking at today are these top ones here. And I apologize, I didn't get to get this to every one of you individually because we just had our meeting, and so I had to throw this together in a day. But what I did do, and I'll get this out to Montana to give to you guys after the meeting, is I did break them down because with lodger's tax, I know we do have to cover various aspects when it comes to accountability. So what we did is, for example, in the adventure outdoors, we included the print distribution we would get with these. It also includes the reach You know, like it would be 20% in the West, 26% Midwest, and so on and so forth. Now, this one here, we're talking about the whole country, by the way, because this is a national one. Same thing with all the rest of them. It'll tell you, you know, the Texas and American Southwest. These are the two versions we have, eighth page and a quarter page. It tells you important dates, you know, when there'll be a market, when the natives due, when the invoices are due. It tells you where it gets distributed. There's a dedicated editorial in Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Oklahoma, and Texas. So there's a complete breakdown of everything. And again, I'll get this to Montana to give to the entire board after the meeting. But this is the main breakdown. I don't know, Veronica, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you covered a lot of the things that we have discussed when regarding this. What was really important in our discussion was knowing what the reach was, and knowing how beneficial. And Virginia did a really good job at breaking it all down for us. I mean, we still have some outliers that we're building, but that was something that was really important. Like, because this was a lot of money, we wanted to make sure we were using it and benefit from it.
Right, and as soon as we can get the discussion on the last remaining sections that we were waiting for information on, and we can get our budget together and submit that, and then from there we start to set up our time frame, and then when everything is due and who we get it and start the distribution.
Yes, perfect, exactly.
All right.
So
Ellen, you had a question?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ellen.
Sorry, is the visitor guide part of this somewhere?
No, we did not include the visitor's guide because we have not been able to get information on the visitor's guide for the last year.
I don't understand that. What do you mean you haven't been able to get information?
I've been asking for price guides or things that we can go off so that we can include it in here. But without any pricing or anything, we don't know what we'll be purchasing or how much it'll cost or anything. So until we could get that information, we can't include it.
And so, and I'm guessing you're thinking of us an individual person, or so the discussion would need to be had, and that I mean the town still needs a guide per se. What we wanted to find out is if the committee is discussed how this would go about in the future. We talked about RFP. We talked about a range of what we'd want for a visitor's guide, and if it went to RFP, he would do it. We know we pushed for a greater portion of it to be, or a bigger push for online. Right. So we're just asking if the committees, I mean, as part of our broad plan, a marketing guide is still an important part of our, I mean, a visitor's guide is still a huge chunk of our marketing plan. So we're wondering if that was discussed at all. I know what we've done in the past, but we've needed to come up with the answers of what we're doing going forward. If we do a visitor's guide, what would we like to have in it entailed, and we come up with, and who's going to do it. So we would come up with an RFP so somebody could apply for it and get this done for us. Or if there was another entity to do it, but that was part of what we were thinking the discussion would be as the overall marketing plan was a visitor's guide would be in there somewhere.
Right, and the visitor's guide was actually something that was different. Bill was working on the visitor's guide as a separate piece. So okay. He had instructed us to come up with everything else, and the visitor's guide he was working on separately on his own. So I'm not sure how he was going about that visitor's guide, but yeah, that was not included in our marketing plan for that specific reason.
Okay. And so for this, I didn't mean to interrupt. Are you guys' presentation complete on on this one, or was there more to?
There's just a little piece. So
Okay, go ahead.
There was 3 campaigns that they did come up with. One of them is keeping to the Old Trails, New Adventures. The region and the state are trying to come up with these regional tours, so it fit in the right direction. Plus, they came up with a whole bunch of other trails and ideas, and just a lot of information that could be used. The other one is going to be, I believe it's called Live Las Vegas. And it's all focused around living in Las Vegas. And then the other one is outdoor adventures, of course, trying to keep with the outdoors theme with COVID. And of course, most of our area is dealing with outdoor, whether it's walking tours or, trails or hiking or boating or whatever that might be. So those are the 3 campaigns they came up with for the rest of the year.
I think it was Live Las Vegas.
Yeah, or Live Las Vegas, some futuristic kind of moving into the future with Las Vegas. So we have the old and the new. That's basically it, unless you have anything, or Veronica.
Any other questions?
I think Frank had his hand up. Frank, did you have a question for us?
I was just curious with the conversation about the visitor guide. Were you not able to get a hold of Las Vegas First or Andy and Melissa?
No, I've been able to get a hold of them. I did ask Melissa and Andy several times for a rate card so that we can at least include ads for the visitors guide. Since we're not necessarily involved in how they want to create a visitors guide, but we are, the committee that does make the decisions on where to place and purchase these things. So I did ask for a rate card, but I never got one.
Okay. All right. So it looks like visitors guide isn't part of the thought. So I want to keep going on this, the committee's plan. So it looks like you've selected places to place ads. What did we come up with? You've mentioned in the last 3 things you had some campaigns going. Are those, did we choose those in order to fit with the campaign, or what are the overall campaigns? What's the theme of the plan going forward? How did we select the sources from sports to so on? How was all that fleshed out? What's our thinking as far as?
They had 3 meetings and they had a whole process and talked about Las Vegas, talked about what attracts people, what's the history, what do we have available now for them, what can we bring for them, what's attractive. And I mean, there was a whole, like I say, it was several meetings that they thought all of the different things of Las Vegas, and then brought it into 3 major campaigns. We haven't actually proceeded with any of these because, like I said, we haven't done any marketing that I know of.
Okay, so can you repeat can you describe the campaigns again? We've flown through it. So what are the campaigns that we're advertising? What are the themes? What's the discussion there? Do we have the details there?
So Old Trails, New Adventures is one of them.
Okay, and so what are our thoughts for that, for Old Trails,
and again,
New Adventures?
that one is based on all the trails around Las Vegas, like Route 66, the Merchant Trails, Santa Fe Trail. There's about 10 trails, I believe, that they came up with, or routes.
Okay.
And then looking to align that again with the regional tourism. As we're on the regional tourism board, what we're doing is we're trying to come up with regional tours and trying to get everybody in the region to combine those. And so that's what the marketing committee did, is they came up with that so that they can be a part of the big state campaign, or regional campaign, I should say. The other one is Live or Live Las Vegas. It's a combination of the old living in Las Vegas and living in Las Vegas now. So it could be a combination of a lot of things, including events and such.
Future.
Future stuff coming in. There could be a lot of things that fall under that one. And then, of course, outdoor adventures. Again, really trying to stick with some of these things that are in for today. That one deals also with the restrictions with COVID. A lot of our outdoor places are getting recognized for, like, example, Hermit's Peak Watershed Alliance is now the face for the state tourism when it comes to our waters and watersheds and things like that. So it fits perfectly in line with that. And they're not the only ones. I know we just did the 360 tour, and the Wildlife Refuge happens to be a part of that. So there's a lot of things that made the decision to come into play and make those the 3 campaigns for the year. Did I miss anything, you guys?
No, that's right. And Alan looks like he has his hand up.
Go ahead, Alan.
I sent a message to Andy and Melissa, and they replied that Montana at the city told us we did not need to submit our packet until October 31st. And that they dropped off folding records, 10,000 of them at the city. So there's a disconnect here somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, the records I haven't seen at the hotel, so maybe they're at the hotels. So maybe they're still at the city, and I'm not sure if that they would still be within reach time-wise.
So I was told today by Melissa, I did receive an email. They did drop off a box of voting records for us, and they did give us, I think, the 10,000 and then 30,000 records. They did state that they gave them to for sure distribution in Santa Fe, and they were going to be the ones to distribute the folding records. So okay. I'm not too sure how that's going to get to the hotels, but they did drop us a box off here for us, and then the other 30 was going to that distribution, for sure distribution out of Santa Fe.
Okay. All right. So these 3 campaigns, do you think that they will be encompassing of the events and groups that we have in town so that we can market them as a whole throughout the year?
Yes, sir. They all come together as a whole when you bring them together. And the events that, like I say, could fall under the Live Las Vegas. And
everyone's kind of had some feedback to the committee as to what, so we can, under these 3 plans, we can have advertising for our events and overall marketing throughout the year. We could get that accomplished with these 3 things. Yes, sir.
Most of those events do fall under one of those categories, so they'll all fit under.
Okay, and so on that page where you had all the places where you're thinking of placing ads, those are all good places for all 3 of them, or you're thinking some of the sources, some of the placements for one of the themes and some of the places for the others, or they work for all? Like just give me an example, like the Highlands packet. What's the idea behind that? Who are we looking at there as far as the Highlands packet marketing? I know it's a smaller portion. It's like what, $1,700, but just let's say we put that in there. Was there something we were going after, a target we were going after, the parents visiting, thinking, is that what we were thinking there? Right. We could go through each one. I don't have the rest in there, but I'm when you get it to us, we'll be able to dig through the other places that you have placed there.
Yeah, and I that's exactly correct. They'll all fit in. So just like you were saying, like, for example, Adventure Outdoors, that's a national magazine that goes all over. That fits perfectly under Outdoor Adventures. And then we have
so that one you were saying was a national reach, right?
Yeah, that's
Outdoor. And what was the distribution on that? Was that 80,000? Is that, I don't know, I didn't see that.
On the Outdoors, the Adventure Outdoors, the reach on that one, there's various ones. So
okay,
they also put it on their digital. So they have newsstands, 75,000 up to 6,000 copies. They also put in the 30,000 waiting rooms. They do web and digital issues of 143,250. They have Facebook of 46,596. Instagram for 64,668. And there's a lot more.
Okay.
But yeah, they break down. They break down. Some of these all break down all the way down to age, so we know exactly what kind of audience they have, and if whether or not it'll fit our campaign.
Right. So out of the spend, I know you had 70,000 for sure, and then you had some more. What would you say would be the breakdown between let's say in-state and out-of-state? I know you saw something for Texas, but let's say in-state and then the rest of the country versus the rest of the country.
I'm saying we have the majority of it is national.
Okay.
We have a few. Let me get back to the top here. So we have some that are state, like athletics, the NMHC, the UNM, the legislative guide, the journal, and a lot of Taos and Wigan Mound. However, we also have some really big ones like the Adventure Outdoors, USA Today, Inc., Amtrak, Inside Santa Fe. That one actually goes out further than Santa Fe. Local flavor. That one also, because of its digital versions, gets out further. New Mexico United, of course, goes all over, so that's to wherever they go play games and stuff like that. So there's I would say it's a good mix of at least 60-50 in there. More, I would say 60% would be more out. 60, sorry, there's no 60-50. That's 110, huh?
Okay.
Virginia?
I've got a few more, but Alan had his hand up, and then Georgina, you're next.
I work very closely with the state Hospitality Association. I'm on their board, as well as with the State Tourism Association and the Secretary of Tourism. And New Mexico, certainly for the foreseeable future, the market for travel and tourism here is a drive market. It's people who are within a couple hours of their destination. So I would be very worried about spending a third of our budget on something like a one-page ad in a Grammy magazine when our market is people who are within a couple hours of drive time. I'm just concerned about focus on what our market actually is to try to bring people into Las Vegas. It's not people from California or New York. It's people within a couple hours drive time. That's our primary market.
Absolutely. And Virginia, please jump in next. But the committee really talked heavily in our last meeting about that. We really wanted, and that's why Virginia is doing such good work for us to get us information on the reach of some of these places. But that's why we tried to really focus on local and within a driving, within a day or two drive. That was a big focus for us. And like I said, Virginia is doing some research of some outlying questions that we had the same concerns. So Virginia is working on that for us.
Right, and that's why I said in the beginning, some of the top ones or the major ones we're looking at, and there are a lot in these areas or surrounding states and the areas. And then the ones at the bottom are the ones that the committee was not sure they really should do those, like the Grammys and that. That's why they didn't include it in that first final 70,000. The first top ones are the ones that they're actually looking at, and like I say, the Grammys and all those are just optional versions that they're looking at.
So on the reach, I did see something for Texas. So the thoughts on how far people could go. So yeah, New York and California doesn't seem like a reach, but you'd think the surrounding states could. I'm sure that's I guess you put in Taos because you can tag a lot of, if other people are going to Taos, maybe tagging along. I know those have been used before for Taos and Santa Fe as feeder markets that, hey, if they're going there, they could continue on into Las Vegas and then make it part of their travel loop. So if they're not even going directly to Las Vegas, the other attractions may be able to bring people from farther away. They've got bigger budgets, but if we could tag along to with those, that can work as well. We always want to have Las Vegas within the northern New Mexico target, and northern New Mexico has a lot of other destination spots that people market for as well. So if we figure out how to get in within that, for our hotels, there's plenty of business from Texas, plenty of business in Colorado. I mean, I see heavy duty license plates here coming through. When I travel to different parts of northern New Mexico, I sometimes that's all I see are Texas and Colorado plates.
Yeah.
We can grab that in Arizona. We can grab that surrounding state business for that reach. And so I can see a lot of these Age of Fire and so on targeting Texas and so on for their reach. I mean, they can see it in their businesses. They can see the people there. So if we get that right mix in there, then that would be great. That's why just kind of it's harder to look at. And then once we get the packet with the breakdowns, we'll be able to ask better questions on what your thought process was for selecting for each thing. But to look at it as a whole, that's all I was saying is what's the breakdown, so we can kind of get an idea of what you guys were looking at. Is hey, the breakdown of which states, in state, out of state, and see that mix, whether it's print, whether it's online. And I'm sure you guys went through all that.
Yes,
but it's something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, no, we did. We asked all those questions, and Virginia came back with answers and a breakdown, and she was very thorough. And I think maybe this is a good thing, Virginia, to maybe go ahead and take the Grammys off the plate for right now, and we can really focus in those areas like what we're talking about.
Well, and I need to get to Georgina next, and then Alan, and so. But I know that a lot of people, maybe it was just me, but saw the New Mexico True commercial on TV for the Gallinas. I think that might have been a hit. I'm thinking several other people, but I saw it several times just from watching TV. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to reach for something or go something big or something. But I mean, as long as we know that we're getting a hit from it, right? That we have some semblance of, wow, this got exposure. People are gonna come here to come see that. I don't know if anybody else saw that commercial, but for the first time, I finally saw a New Mexico True commercial that targeted Las Vegas, New Mexico. So I was happy to see that. Let me get to Georgina and then Alan afterwards.
Okay, I might my internet keeps dropping me, but my focus was when I was sitting on that committee for those meetings is the 3 states that border us. You have Texas, Colorado, and Arizona. And we get massive amount of people coming through there all the time. I mean, you're right. You see these plates everywhere. And I really felt that, us going to the Taos Summer Guide, the Amtrak, hitting the Duke City, because these people are going to these bigger cities, but then they're having to travel back. And if they've got time, which generally they do, they'll stop and say, you know what, I want to catch Las Vegas on our way coming back. I want to catch it either going or coming, but I'm going to stop there. And that's kind of where I was looking at it. So that was just my input. And the fact that the Duke City Gladiators, the New Mexico United, I mean, they've got their capacity when they have games. There's lots of people there, and they're coming, they're from all over. So just to to give people some input. Hey, you know what? Las Vegas is over here, so don't forget us.
Okay.
Right, and New Mexico United, just so you're aware, is probably one of the biggest marketing things you can get involved with at this point. I mean, look at Mal Wolf. They went through them, and now everybody knows. I mean, they knew Mal Wolf already, but being a part of their jerseys, being on their field, all these different things, and now Mal Wolf is even more famous than what they were. It's about finding these marketing pieces, and that's what this group is doing, that haven't been tapped in, that we can really utilize. And we've seen other people succeed from them. And that's why that top tier is one of their main things. Even with Taos, for example, the Taos Glow. It's not just Taos, it's the Taos Glow. So that magazine is for their mini glow, and you get people from all over that come in and they see that program and stuff. So a lot of these were really well thought out when they selected them, and they eliminated quite a few. And like I say, you'll see that when we send this final piece off to you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I look forward to seeing that there, and maybe and yeah, I guess you have the breakdown at the bottom. So I look forward to looking through it and reading it. And I'm guessing we'll have more questions. I think there's a lot of New Mexico definitely in there from the looks of it, from there. And so I guess my only questions would be if there's if we wanted to see in the future if there was more push for the surrounding states, or maybe something I'm missing, that there is plenty for the surrounding states on there. So when I'm able to look through it, we can see it as far as specifics there. As far as execution time, we have a plan of all these placements. This is starting from when?
As soon as we can get it done, because I mean, we're already almost halfway through this fiscal year. We may have to use this as maybe a part to do the second part, and then do the first part of the next fiscal year, and break it up that way. Would probably be better, which actually might work because of the fact that a lot of times the ones that are in June and July, some of our most important ones, are always stuck in between that fiscal year. And if we can just have them for that already, we can just continue on when the new year starts. But again, that's something that has to be discussed. Right now, it's about getting this plan together, and then, because all these dates are going to be different. They're all spread out through the whole year.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. I have somebody with their hand up. As long as it's pertaining to the marketing plan, go ahead. Is it John?
It's John Michael. It's Michael Parento at Main Street.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just curious because we're getting, like, in the last 2 weeks, especially, we have full-time staff working at the visitor center. The city has full-time staff, and it's packed. And today it's been packed, and it's great. It's great that the brochures came out that we got, because we've been handing those out like crazy. But I'm just curious if we looked at the logs that are in the visitor center to see where people are coming from, especially with this many people coming in the last month. That's all.
So yeah, that goes along with the questions on how we decided and how it ends. So what I'm hoping for, if we can, from the committee, is on the presentation. If there's, I'm sure other people would like to see it too. I'm sure council would like to see it, and so I'm hoping that the presentation can be presented in a way, possibly slides of, look, this was our criteria. This is what we, this is how we did it. This is the target we had. This is why we chose these things. And a good overall presentation of it, and especially with the packet with the information on the details here for how money is being spent, so people can look at it. And if they had questions after the presentation, then we have a good understanding. Right now, all the spending is a bit to to take on, but I'm sure we can go through it. We just didn't have it beforehand, but I'm sure there'll be more questions on who, what, when, where for some of it, like we're doing now. So right now, it's a good discussion, but is there a way in the future? I'm sure other people are going to be asking for a presentation on our plan upcoming. Is there a way we could have a presentation in that fashion?
Well, yeah,
I know everybody loves PowerPoints. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a presentation. I mean, when we
Okay.
finalize it, but the thing is that we're trying to get that done as soon as possible, because if we keep going back and forth, we're going to spend another year of going back and forth.
Right. So that's why it's important to have a detailed presentation fleshing out all of your thoughts in detail so it's thought out. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. If you feel do you think this would be enough, or it would be too much discussion going forward?
Well,
Virginia.
I could suggest, if you guys want, I mean, because we've given you quite a bit of detail, we explained it and stuff, but if you guys want even more detail, what I would suggest is that the Lodgers Tax Committee and the Marketing Committee get together and make those decisions together, so you guys are fully aware of everything going on.
Okay. I mean, we just asked for a detailed, but so again, I mean, what you've presented to give us today has been the first day we've heard any part of the plan, and it's on the agenda for approval, but you're asking a board to approve $70,000 to $160,000 of money of a plan today, where we just
in the beginning on the approval of agenda and said that we did not want approval, we only wanted presentation.
Okay, so we've clarified that was, you just wanted to present. So I'm assuming then that this is a start of something, so you'll still be able to come back to us with like, if other people, council's gonna have to be accountable for this too. I'm sure they'll ask for a proper presentation. That's all I'm saying, is that if we needed to present again, can we get this in a cohesive manner of what our thoughts were and how we wanted to go on? I understand that we're having a discussion here too, but there's still some questions to be had. We still need to go over the packet of how you guys spent. We're not trying to micromanage. We're trying to understand your guys' plan that you're just presenting for the first time today. So I wouldn't want to do that either, but we need to have an understanding of what you guys are presenting.
Right, and that's fine. And so we meet again in November. You guys don't meet again until January, because you're quarterly. So that means we would have to put this off until then.
Well, we could always have a special meeting to do that. And so I'm sure the council would like the recommendation from Lodgers Tax for it. So again, we've been waiting and pushing for this time. I'm glad you were able to get us a presentation today. I'm sure there'll be more questions to start, but we can certainly entertain a special meeting in between and add the information that we need to add. So that's not a matter. We've been waiting for a marketing plan for some time. And so we would have some discussion on it. And of course, we want to execute on something. To me, this is just the start of it. Alan, you had a question? You're on mute.
Sorry, I agree with the comments, Cchp. I think a marketing plan should, and this is a suggested placements, not really a marketing plan. A marketing plan is going to say, this is your target audience, this is why, and this is how we're going to reach that target audience. So if our target audience, which we're pretty clear on, is the I-25 drive corridor, and that's going Texas, Colorado primarily, and our drive markets are Santa Fe and Albuquerque. And so the question is, what's the direct connection between those objectives and the plan here? I think that needs to be spelled out a little bit more clearly. And still, my real concern here is that our major marketing piece has always been a visitor guide, and it's not even in here. And Andy and Melissa need to be part of this conversation, since they've been doing that for years and doing a really extraordinary job with that. Gabe Garcia, who is our most knowledgeable marketing person on the largest tax board, is not on this call, and he really needs to be part of this. So I think we should just look at this as kind of an introductory session, but I agree with Kritik. We need a meeting soon to go in more detail on a marketing plan where we actually talk about the plan objectives and how those objectives are met by specific placements.
So we're having a meeting on November 2nd. You guys are welcome to come because that's when that's going to take place. They'll be discussing more in detail all those. So I would suggest that each of you show up to the November 2nd Marketing Committee meeting because that's where that's going to be discussed. You can also find them on YouTube if you want to catch up. All meetings are on YouTube. If you guys have any suggestions for the committee, I would suggest that you guys just email me to them. Any placements, places, anything that you would like the committee to look at. I mean, anything that you guys have suggestions for, recommendations, whatever it might be, email them to the committee.
Our suggestion is a proper presentation, exactly what Alan laid out of
We
what
just
we'd want.
gave you a presentation on all the details. We explained to you how they came up with them. We gave you the details on where they get distributed, how many they get exposed to, what the costs are. I'm like I said, the only other further detail we can do is if you guys show up to the meeting and be a part of that discussion.
Virginia, if I may, I think this is really good. I'm really glad that myself and Margot are here to sort of support Virginia in this, and just to kind of give you a little bit of an understanding too is Virginia formed this committee, and it's been kind of challenging to get us all on the same page. And then I feel like also some of the things that that the committee has been up against too, and I'm really happy to hear feedback from everyone in regards to kind of what we would like to see from us and what we would like to do. I agree 100% with Alan with what a marketing committee should be doing. But it's been challenging. Virginia has not been given all the information or really the resources to really be able to do her job and support this committee. And we've been trying to support her in the best way that we possibly can. So I think I agree. We should come, maybe take into consideration all the feedback that we're getting from everyone. And I think it would be really great to have you said Gabe Garcia, I believe, is your marketing person. You talked about I don't know the other people's name that you mentioned. Mary, was that one? Please forgive me. I don't know all names yet. Maybe we should have a meeting, Virginia, that we can maybe get some of these key players around the table or our virtual table to kind of have a better understanding and put together a slide deck that sort of outlines what our committee should be doing, what resources we need in order to be able to do them, and then be able to come back in January and present a really comprehensive plan of what this committee wants to do, what we can do, and what we need to do to benefit this community. Because to be honest with you, we've sat around the table a couple of times with Virginia and have asked these exact questions you are asking now, and Virginia is just, well, someone else is dealing with that, or I didn't get that approval I didn't get this until last night, which makes it really hard for us. A lot of the packages that we were looking at and the themes that we were, the material that we were going to send out, we all had questions about it. We're like, that's not really good marketing material. But Virginia was like, it was approved by someone else. And we're kind of tied. And that's
Sure.
not really great,
Yeah.
To be a marketing committee and not have any say on the marketing materials. So I support Virginia in what she's presented today as just an overview of what we have been doing so far. But
Okay.
I do think we need Virginia to have some support, so that we can do the work that you're asking us to do, and so that we can actually do the work. But Virginia, I agree. We probably should come up with a little bit better, more cohesive presentation. I'm happy to help and support you on that. because it shouldn't be something that's just lays on your feet. But we should get the right people around the table if there are more concerns from this committee.
Right.
I just
I
don't
agree with Veronica. I agree with you. And I also know that the issues that questions we can't answer is because we didn't get information in time. Different people held up things at a different time. And so I just wanted to know, what did you mean by a proper presentation? This was an overview presentation.
Well, it's not very
Visually appealing.
No, you didn't say
Is
that,
what it is?
but the chairman said, he kept using the term proper presentation. If you're talking about something visually, then okay, maybe a visual presentation with keynote.
Well,
I took offense to the proper presentation, sir.
I agree. I think the presentation that we gave was very thorough, but we could have I could not see the material Virginia was showing, and I have two screens. I just think I think we can do it a little bit better. And so I'm happy to help you, Virginia, so that we can put together something.
And
Right,
listen,
and it's the same thing with like the visitor's guide. And they make a really good point. We were only selected to do certain things because we were told not to use the visitor's guide because that's a separate thing. That's actually services. So that would have to go through whoever's in charge of marketing or the director or whoever's doing that.
Okay.
Because that's more of an RFP or a quote or however they decide to do it. Now, we're looking at the marketing as far as, campaigns and placements and that's
right.
what this marketing committee is.
I'm looking out for the whole. Okay, so I didn't mean to offend anyone over the presentation, but this isn't just for us. Council is going to see this. Other people are going to see this. So we're making sure that we're able to convey exactly what we're doing. We're spending this amount of money, but this is our plan. This is how we're doing it, and that message has to be clear. So if we have issues at this level, we could solve them now, and then council's going to want to see it the same way. They're going to say, yes, okay, lodger's tax approved this. Why? Let us see it. And you're going to have at some point that they're going to want a small presentation for themselves to go forward. So as far as it being organized, it's again because we started off with all the places that we're going to place ads in. So the whole meeting is oriented to, okay, look, this is a whole bunch of places we're going to place ads. So as we asked questions, that's when we fleshed out, okay, this was our rationale of why we did this. We asked, hey, in-state versus out-of-state. So we kind of brought out the presentation with our questions. So if this is an overview discussion, that's great. All I was saying is that going forward, we probably need to clean it up a little bit so we can convey this to the public and council. That's all I was trying to say. We don't also have that packet in our hands of all the approvals. I understand it came late to you guys. So we're just absorbing all this within 15 minutes. That's what I'd like to say is if we are going forward with this, we probably need to clean up of, hey, this is the exact rationale we used. Not even exact, but the framework that we used of how we got here. That's all I'm saying on that portion. Alan, you had more feedback? All right.
No, thank you.
Georgina?
My internet has been dropping every 5 minutes. So
Okay.
what I could catch, I thought the information that Virginia put together for the beginning of our marketing plan, yes, it could be improved, but there's a lot in there to look at and to decipher. We didn't get all of the information in time to give us stats on who, how many people were coming from this area, how many people were coming from that area. So, I mean, we did what we could with what we had. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So we've got two things going on. So this is the start of something, but then we also would like to get marketing immediately. So we need to figure out the time frame we need to do this so we can get approved and get going. So what time frame should we use to do that? What is it that we need to straighten out? Is there a way that this could be presented again, or if it's presented enough, what we need to go forward? As of right now, it's flipped to discussion only, but again, is this something that we would like time until January to talk about and we start marketing in January? Or are there some things that we can start working on now that we could break up? So we can have that discussion now if any.
Well, actually, Critic, like I said in the beginning, this is, you know, what they put together, and they still have to fine tune it some more. What they're going to do on their next meeting. So after that, if you guys want to have a meeting and have them present this to you once it's complete, you could do that. This is just was supposed to be a presentation to update you where they were getting, you know, on where they've come with it, which is pretty far for 5 meetings. But, you know, their next meeting, again, they'll finalize a lot of stuff. And then if you guys want to, you know, join that meeting, or if you want to have another meeting and have them come in and present to you again, either way, it's up to you.
Right, and just have some backup in between for people that don't attend those meetings. That hey, this is what the resolutions this is what we came up with out of those meetings, and so on. Just exactly what we discussed and some of the questions we had. So maybe you could put even a FAQ section, just something put together. So if people have questions, they can go quickly and answer it. If they've missed those meetings, they could quickly go in and say, hey, this was our marketing plan. This is, you could put it up on the website. This is our rationale. This is what's going on. So if anybody has questions, they can quickly read up on it and get on board. And we're not wasting time. We're not wasting time with all this stuff in between.
I'm not going to spend all my days doing all that shit.
You want a presentation for the presentation?
We're going to have so much fun.
Virginia, I think you're not muted.
Muted? No.
Oh, there you go. All right. Any more questions on the marketing presentation? All right. I'll entertain. It wasn't an item to a business item of Rose discussion. So if we don't have any more questions on it, I'll entertain a motion to table this and move on. Actually, I think we can move on because we changed it to a discussion.
They could have created a whole group. Oh, did I hit it again?
Can you repeat that, Kutek?
I think we could just move on because we changed it to a discussion. So we could just move on after this. But I don't think we could have table. I don't think we have to table this unless anyone wants to correct me.
No, you guys can just move on.
Okay, so moving on. We're at discussion items, funding applications.
So this is to talk to you, Kutik, about the applications. As of right now, I have not received any applications for funding. I know I have, I know Melissa did tell me that they were working on their application to get it in, and I know that there's, or I believe there's, I want to say 2 or 3 other people that are, they should be submitting applications before the October 31st deadline.
Okay.
For funding, I just haven't received anything. So I know once that deadline, the moment we have that deadline, that was for the advertisements for next year. If we don't get any applications in, we could talk about setting up another to get deadlines to get applications submitted into us. You guys can set one up now, well, more or less discuss to set one up now if you guys need to, or you want to just wait till the 31st to see if we do get any in and then have a special meeting after that to set the dates up. It's up to you guys.
Okay. And we're advertising and so on out there as far as getting applications in.
Yes, it is. It's advertised in the Optic. It's still on the radio stations. It's on our website. So we have it out there. I just, nobody has really.
If they do communicate with you, can you make sure that the packets are sent directly to you and not to anyone on the board?
Yeah, I put it on the advertisement that I put. I did put that they needed to submit them to me.
Okay.
I put my email address and I put how they can hand deliver them to city offices for us. So they should be giving them to me, not to anybody else. I can't promise you if they will do that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that everybody receives, once they're all in, everybody receives the packet at the same time. So as long as you're doing that, then we're fine.
And my plan is so the 31st, I believe, is on a Sunday. So coming, I think that Monday, if I do receive any of those applications, that's when I will be reviewing them to make sure they are fitting your guys' guidelines for the funding. And then, if there is any questions, I could call them, get them changed. If not, I will be sending them out that week, probably the first week of November. I will be sending out to the board members, the applications, so you guys can review them. And that probably might be another thing to get a special meeting so that you guys can review them as the board together and then see if you guys are going to have the marketing committee also review them to score them at the same time.
Okay. All right, we could start doing that, knowing that's a deadline, and we can let's come up with a date, and we still need to come up with a date for a special meeting. I'm not sure if the marketing committee is interested in presenting some more. I guess we'll find that out for that. Okay. Any questions on funding on application for event funding? If not, we'll move to repaint of Calumet Girl.
Okay, so with this one, I have talked to Chuck Grego, and he was gonna put it on the agenda for the film commission. And I know he did talk. I asked about more or less the name change, and right off the back, he said that's probably not going to happen. And then also, I was in touch with the city manager, who is currently our interim director, and he did advise me also that is how it is on private. It's a privately owned building, so it's not necessarily our job to paint it. It would be the owner of the property's job to do it.
Okay, was there, Alan, I know you were pushing this, was there was somebody that was willing to paint it, right? And so we, Christina, you repeat that last sentence again, that it was the job?
Yeah, so our interim director and our city manager, Leo, he did say when we were talking about it, it is a privately owned building. So it would be more up to the owner of that building to get it repainted, and not the city's job to.
Not the city or lodger's tax use for it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Did I know I was trying to get Montana to communicate with the film board. Did the film board meet? Did they have this on their agenda at all?
I'm not too sure when they've met, and let me see. They're in October. I'm not too sure if they met this. It was been last Wednesday. I'm not too sure, but I did talk to Chuck Grego. I can't remember exactly what day it was. And I did tell him to put it on their agenda, and he said he was going to, but I don't know if I got it in time to get it on this past agenda, or if it'll have to be on their next quarterly meeting.
Okay.
agenda, but I could find out with him to see if it was on their last agenda.
Okay. Alan, have you had any other updates on the Calumet girl as far as the interest in that? I know somebody had come up to you and wanting to do that, but the in between hasn't been solved as far as communicating with the building owner and whether he wants to do that or not.
Yeah, that's right. The general question is whether or not such an important tourist attraction for the city should be allowed to just fall apart. And I think the answer is no, not if there's something we can do about it. I understand it's a privately owned property, and my understanding, in fact, is that it has recently been sold. But there are many ways around that as well. The city could just get an easement to maintain the sign, and then the city could maintain the sign. My concern is that if somebody doesn't do something, it will just fall down, and we will have lost another attraction in Las Vegas, as we've lost so many important historic buildings because people say it's not my problem. So this to me is an important attraction for the city. It's in a prime location. It has recently been sold. We could contact the owner if we cared to and see if they would give the city an easement or find out what their plans are to save or restore the sign before it falls down, because it is deteriorating and now it's in a fairly precarious position. I've seen this happen to so many Route 66 icons. I know this isn't Route 66. I'm just saying, to ignore it or pretend that the problem will go away, it guarantees that that will fall apart.
Go ahead, Georgina.
Has the new owners, have they thought about, or even the old owners, do the same thing that the drive-in theater did, where they did like a GoFundMe or whatever it was, and that got huge recognition, and they were able to get the funding to restore that, their whatever it was that they were going for, the GoFund project. Because if you look at it, it is a private building. You're going to look at insurance, the liability, who's going to take that liability. That means that the citizens, the community, the taxpayers would have to take that liability, and whoever's going to be working on it. So I mean, it's just not, yeah, we want to save the project, the building or the structure, but there's a lot of details behind that. There is a huge liability, and that's my concern.
There's a liability as far as taking on the painting of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because whoever is going to be painting on that thing, they're going to need scaffolding, there's going to need all this other stuff, safety harnesses, they're going to, I mean, there's a lot of stuff involved there. It's just not slapping a piece of paint on there, no.
Okay.
What happens if the building collapses while somebody is working on there? Who is going?
All right, we lost you there. Alan, I think a few of the questions probably need to be answered. I know we've put this on here a couple of times. I would say it's something that lodger's tax can entertain as part of tourism infrastructure, but there's this portion, and somebody needs the championship of approaching the owner and seeing whether the new owner now is even viable. I know you had someone in mind that wanted to paint it, and how that would work as far as us funding it, and what the painter would need to have insurance liability wise and so on while we go forward. It seems like a simple thing, but then there's the things that we need to fill in between. So until we have a clear understanding that the building owner wants to do this, and we have somebody ready and willing to do this, it's kind of hard for us to go forward. We're at a discussion point on it. If we can have a champion for this situation and willing to take that on, it doesn't sound like this is something under the city's purview to push, so it would have to be another entity in town that wants to push it. That's why I wanted to kind of see if anybody on the film commission wanted to follow up on that, because that's, I mean, it's an important film tourism place, and I know that it's important to a lot of people in and out of town. So we should be able to figure out a way to save it, but we need to figure out these details of working with the building owner. If it's an easement, it's an easement. But some of that work is going to have to be done by someone before we can get to the meat of, hey, let's fund this, and then what is the everyone's roles in it. John, yeah, go ahead.
It's Michael, actually.
Michael,
I put my hand up because as Main Street, I can go talk. I can find out who the building owner is and talk to them about what their plans are to do that.
Yeah.
So I'll take that on as an initial thing, just to see what the story is with the new building owners. Owner, not owners.
Good deal.
All right?
Good deal. And then let's come back. If we fill in some of those gaps there, we can get going on this. I don't see why this would not fall under tourism infrastructure if we can, and going forward. But we need to figure out again, building owner and what Georgina was saying as far as liability. That those questions need to be answered.
Well, that would all be really with the building owner. And Alan, if you have somebody who's interested in painting it, I'll call you. Okay.
All right. Okay. Moving forward. We're on marketing statistics. I think that was going to be presented by Virginia.
Yes, just give me 1 second so I can get these all pulled up. Okay, so here's the latest marketing statistics that we have. As you could see, we've got quite a few people who are organically searching this. So I'm guessing that's from whatever marketing we do have out there, mainly with New Mexico Chew. Referrals, so, you know, that's probably from events or social media, things like that. Well, actually not social media. We have the social media down here. We haven't had very many things on there. I'm guessing that's why that one's a lot lower. Directly from Google, we have 8.2%. We have, as far as users, this is what we're seeing. As you can see this year, since there hasn't been a lot going on and we haven't had really anything on our event calendar, it's been pretty flat. So pretty much the whole entire year has been pretty flat on that as far as the users and visiting the website. Same thing, you know, audiences. So far, we've gotten about 19,736 new users. It's still good, but, you know, we probably would see an increase about this time on those. And then, again, countries that are visiting our website, these are the majority of the top 10: the United States, Indonesia, Canada, UK, China, India, Germany, Mexico, Japan. We used to have a board in the visitor center. I don't know if they kept it when the next person took over, but it did used to mark everybody who came in and mark where they were from, and it was really cool. And it actually coincided with this, so that was something it would be nice to see come back. So as far as the pages go, these are the pages that people are visiting. The main one, of course, is our homepage. Next is things to do. Events, they not staying on too long on the events page because there's not really much on there. 4th of July fiestas, that's always on our top. Places to stay, Montezuma Hot Springs, always on our top. Local restaurants, foods and sweets. Again, this basically follows where our visitors, how they plan for Las Vegas. The next thing we have is the mobile desktop tablet. We've got a little bit of increase on the mobile. Before it was our desktop that had the majority. Now it's the mobile views, and our desktops have dropped. We have some tablets in there, but not very many. And then as far that, I'm sorry about that one, that's another one. And then this is kind of a flow chart of our website and how they're getting in there. Let's see if I can increase this a little. So with this flow chart, you kind of see the country, mostly United States, of course, and then all the other countries and where they start at. And then as they get into our website, you know, it shows basically how they start drifting off from the first page that they got in there. We're seeing that they go in at least 3 or 4 pages deep, which is a great improvement as to what it used to be, which was only 1 to 2 pages. If we were lucky at that point. So this is actually great news to see that our flow chart is continuing now, and we're getting more and more people that are flowing through the website and not just hitting 1 page and then leaving. So that is basically the breakdown. And just so you know, all of these are just for this fiscal year, meaning July 1st to October 5th is when these ones were run. So just the last few months of the fiscal year. That's what all these reports are on. Any questions?
So as we go forward and obviously have events, but how do you think as far as going forward on our marketing plan as we place the ads, would you see the website changing around, let's say, the themes, or would it just be the events page that we'd be adding to? Would the website be changing in any way to attract some of this, or would we, for some of the online stuff that we'd be placing, would some of that traffic be heading our way, and so on?
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff that we do does redirect that traffic. It increases it, decreases it, depending on what's going on. It's not just events, it's other things as well. Whenever we add an app or we add any other features, that also gets put in there, which, speaking of, just give me 1 second real quick, because I'd like to show you an example. Yeah, he gets kind of loud. Okay, I'm going to present to you my present. Let's. So, for example, we recently were working with Google, the state, on the Google DMO project. And as part of that, we did a Google virtual tour with certain locations, pinpoints, and such. So we incorporated that into the website. So you could see here's the website, and at the top here, it says Las Vegas virtual tour. Of course, we're working on the overlay of this because we need Google to do some coding to get that button down, but it's here. You could take it to full screen, and you can go in there and see the tour. You know, you could click Plaza, you could go to Story Lake, you could go to Pandaray, and do the 360 tour with pinpoints that pop up with information and photos and stuff. So not only is it just the events that attracts people, but it's all these other little aspects that we've been working on, that we've been including that into the website as well.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Any other questions from anyone on this part? Did just one question out while you're doing the New Mexico Tree, that the Gallinas ad, how did that come up? How did that come together? the video, the TV commercial?
Oh, the one with the Watershed Alliance.
Is that
So-
is that
That's part
Go
of
ahead.
their campaign with the state as far as the waterways and stuff I was talking to you about, where they're the new face for New Mexico Troop for that particular project.
okay? And so it went through Watershed. Watershed worked with them to get that one done for New Mexico
Yes,
Troop?
sir.
Okay. Did it go through any of our packets? So what is it? That wasn't through Lodgers Tax at all?
No, not that I'm aware of. As far as I know, that's completely through them. They have a whole program they're working on together for the year.
Okay. Well, they did a great job with it. I'm hoping that that's something that we can do. I got confused. I thought that was something that was done through what we did with an M-True, but they had their own deal. If there's something that comes across that we can do in that way, I'm sure that we'd be willing to look, because I thought that was a pretty good commercial.
Yeah, we have a few of them with them, and they will be part of some of the New Mexico Troop packages coming out where they'll be playing those videos. So those videos will be coming out.
Okay. All right. If we don't have any more questions, then we can move on to update of the Romero Firehouse.
Real quick, I have a
Oh,
question.
go ahead. Go ahead, Georgina.
Locations. I think we could use this data, Virginia, for the marketing, where it breaks it down for states and cities. You know, the amount of people, who's looking at what, from what, like from Brooklyn, you have 27 people looking at it. From Los Angeles, 122 people were looking at it. The states, you look over here, California, we had 167. Texas, 130. I'm surprised Colorado didn't get as many hits, but New York did, and Colorado, you know, up in the high 30s. So I think this is really good information that we can use when we're making our selections of how we're going to advertise.
Yes, that's a very good suggestion, Georgina, and I'll make sure to get, I think I sent them to you guys, but if I did, I'll make sure to get them to you.
Okay, I'd like to see these numbers, because this really helps us making decisions when how we're going to advertise and use that money. Real quick, Kutek, did you see where the hot springs is still all the hits that the hot springs got? Hello?
Oops, I was on mute. Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure I do even have those hits as far as questions at the hotels. People still ask about the hot springs, so I figured it'd be something that'd come up on the website. I'm still not clear as of the status of the hot springs and whether it's okay to send people or not. So that's as a hotelier, I still am on the lookout for that information if we're ready to go.
We have a meeting at 4:30 to talk about that.
Okay, good deal. Were you able to catch the tail end of that, Georgina?
No, I didn't. Can you repeat that real quick?
So they're having I did notice as far as the hot springs, and I get those questions at the hotels as well. And I believe, I guess my question is there's still some vagueness as far as if the hot springs are ready to send visitors to. And I believe I was just told that there's going to be a meeting today at 4:30 to figure out whether that's going to be the case or not.
That is true. I have a meeting at 4:30 with them. I sit on that board, and
Okay.
we were going by the state's quotas, you know, COVID quotas, but we're going to have to revisit that, and we're going to look at what the numbers are right now, and we're shooting to opening at the end of October, but that's still very iffy depending on the numbers.
Okay, if you could keep us updated, and then we can go from there as far as Hot Springs.
Right, because there's, I mean, look at the hits, the numbers. You have 5,000, almost 6,000 people looking at it. You know, once you get somebody here for the Hot Springs, then you have them open. You can get them and grab them, you know, from other different venues that we have in town.
Yeah, I know it's an attraction just from visitors to the hotel.
Yeah.
Alan,
Okay,
Alan,
well,
you had a. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say Georgina's right. I'm on the UWC board, and UWC is fully committed to proceeding with this transfer of operational responsibility to the community. And it's just a question of liability now, and when is the safe time to open something like that is such an intimate experience. So it will happen soon, but some of those conditions like COVID rates are just not up to anybody.
Okay. All right. If there's no more discussion on that, we move on to again the update of the Romero firehouse.
Hello? Hi. Everyone can hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Hi. So, as you all might remember, I am Shane Forrest, and I am not Bob Fleur, which is a very sad thing, and I wish he could be here to do this presentation. We decided it was logical for me to do it because I did most of the work and can report best on it. I also know that you guys are all wanting to jump off this call and got other stuff to do, so I will. It's short, simple, and sweet. Everything on the list of deliverables is done. So high resolution scanning of all media is done. Inaugural photo document slide done. Artifact preparation done. Ongoing design consultation with the intern is finished, and those panels are off to the printer. Preservation services, which require those archival grade preservation materials, is done. So I think that's what you all wanted to know. And unless you have any questions, I'll just let you proceed with it.
That's what we needed to know. Is the museum fully open?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Excuse me. I'm Annette Garcia, and I'm the chair of the Friends of the Museum Board. And we're almost fully open. It's open Wednesday through Saturday. So
okay.
Yeah, like I think, is it Shane 11 to 3 or something like that?
I think the question was about the Firehouse Museum, Annette.
Oh, the Firehouse. Yeah. I'm sorry. My mind's always on the museum.
The City Museum is totally is doing what it's doing according to, I actually don't know what the hours are, to tell you the truth. So Annette, go ahead and tell them the hours for that. But as far as this Firehouse Museum goes, it's not open yet. There was a lot of delays, of course, due to COVID, access to building and things like that, but it is getting along there. And I'm very excited to report that some of the work that we have artists doing in there is beautiful. The woodwork and the cases done by Ray's Woodworks are fantastic. And it's going to be open soon, and I can't wait for all of you to see it because I'm really excited. So that's it on the Firehouse. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what all it was about. We were just asking the groups that had received funding before, just a status of the project. It's great to hear that you were able to deliver everything. We look forward to seeing the museum.
Cool. And thank you, and thanks for the support and everything. Yeah.
Good deal.
Cool.
Any questions or discussion on the Firehouse? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coming.
Okay.
Moving on.
Thanks. Bye.
Moving on to update of the CCHP mobile application.
Yeah, can I share the screen and just walk through the data real quick?
All right. Let's see if Christina can.
You should be able to, on your side, there should be a button somewhere that lets you share your screen.
And we're, I just saw the note. I'm sorry, Christina, I just saw your message on the side. It looks like we're running out of time as well. There's a meeting scheduled for 4. So we'll probably have to make it a little quick if we want to get the wayfinding in there as well.
Yeah. Let me see if hold on a second. Do you see a screen?
I do.
Okay. This data was put together August 18th for the city council meeting. The unique users as of the 18th were 380. They viewed about 15,000 pages on the app, and the average time spent on the app was about 12 minutes. Here's the data 48 days later. Usage is up to 576. The average time on the app is almost 14 minutes. Now, I noticed Virginia in the web, the average time on the Las Vegas city website is 1 minute and 38 seconds. To have 576 people on an average of 14 minutes is quite extraordinary on anything digital today. And the other thing is in just 48 days, the usage has increased 65%. And every day I'm seeing new people logging in and using the application. Of interest, likewise, compared to the website, the states that are represented are New Mexico, California, Texas, Colorado, and New York, and Arizona in the top 6 or 7. And of the cities, it's Albuquerque, Las Vegas. Curiously, Los Angeles is frequently showing up. Rio Rancho, Santa Fe, and then you get a hodgepodge of different locations. The usage of the page in the application in terms of what pages people are visiting, the top page is touring the plaza and the Bridge Street, and then North Newtown, and then Old Town. Maps, the Railroad District, basically all the historic districts. Tours of the movies shot in Las Vegas is always popular. And down a few more, the Santa Fe Trail, we just put that on a few weeks ago. And within a very short period of time, it's been a very popular tour to take. And that trail, the Santa Fe Trail tour goes through all of the buildings on Bridge and the plaza that have a story associated with the Santa Fe Trail. The QR codes are a major way that consumers are accessing the application. We see very similar usage in terms of where people are coming from, at least where their phone is registered in. This is a number of people scanning the code. The top 142 are scans that are from an Android phone, 306 coming from an iPhone. That number today, in the last 4 days, that number is now 315. Just in a few days, it has increased it. We've had a few comments that people put on the app that I get. This is just one example of some of the comments that we get. I always like this one. It's My mom's 96. She started grade school in Las Vegas, graduated from Highlands. She enjoys the app. She gave me a short tour down memory lane. That was a nice feedback on it. So we get a little bit of feedback from users. The publicity has been basically around both at Highlands, on the web. The Optic ran something, Facebook, New Mexico Magazine, and on the new visitors guide that just came out, it features a full panel on the visitor guide. Facebook marketing's been pretty consistent in terms of both on personal sites, on CCHP's site, and on other shared sites.
The QR code, the QR code is leading them to download the app, or it's leading them to a specific, so if somebody put a QR code at one of their buildings along the tour, is it pointing directly towards that on that specific spot in the app, or is it just directing you to download the app?
It automatically downloads the app.
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And the click-through rates, even on Facebook, were this is just an example of one promotion we did. We've had quite a number of them, but we have good click-through rates on all of the campaigns, which the conversion rate between just simply having an impression and people actually seeing it and then people actually clicking on it's been higher than normal for most platforms. We also have a lot of printed cards out into the marketplace, and I've got a number left that I'm putting out. Again, they're at the visitor center. There were some at the museum and a few of the hotels, and that's been hold on. That's kind of the story. So
on the Android portion, I haven't seen the downloads as far as the Apple App Store downloads, but for the Android version, I see it in the hundreds. And then as far as the Apple App Store, I'm not sure what we're seeing there, but what was our target as far as what we were thinking on how many people have downloaded this app? In what time frame would you say were these downloads that people actually have it on their phones?
It's been over the course of February, March on.
Okay.
And the Android iPhone, there's about 3 times more people using an iPhone versus Android that are shooting the QR codes. The other way people find it is obviously on a Google search on Las Vegas, or Connect Las Vegas brings the app up as well.
Okay. Do you think, as far as future growth, I know that the marketing committee had as one of their themes trails as well. Do you think you would be able to connect? Well, let me rewind. Is there a link for this app on our Visit Las Vegas page?
I asked Virginia about that. I checked a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't see the link on it, but I have requested that.
Okay. And so, yeah, I know that's one of their themes that they're going to go with was trails. So going forward, it looks like it pinpoints some of these spots on the app when I was going through it. Do you think in the future there'll be like interactive versions where you can tag the places that you've already been and follow along, or do you think there's anything in the future?
There's a badge feature that people can make note of which ones they've been to, and you can have a reward or a little prize or something after they visited 10 places. I need to point out, I'm no longer with CCHP.
Okay.
The lodger's tax funding was for last year. At present, there isn't anyone maintaining this app anymore. The city's been shown some interest in wanting to carry on the license. The CCHP did pay the license for one more year, although they're looking to find ways to get their money back. There's two options. One, the city marketing department can pick up the app, and I'll consult with them to add more and more content. I haven't decided. I could do a lodger's tax request through one of the other nonprofits, either Las Vegas First or Main Street. There is so much more that can be added to this app, including various hiking trails, a listing of all of the hotels, an online registration, a listing of all the businesses, places to go, places to eat. A lot of the content that is on both the website can be on the mobile, and the difference on the mobile app is it's completely engaged people that are spending a lot of time on there to find things to do. So there's a lot more that can be done on it. One of the challenges is trying to find where's the best place. I know the mayor has talked about centralizing marketing, having a more professional approach to marketing. Obviously.
It'd be good to know. And I think when you first presented, it was one of my first questions on who would own the licensing rights. And at that point, I was trying to push for the city to own the license. So in case there's some discontinuity, there'd be no such thing as far as the city goes. But I know there was issues with how that would be procured. But if we can have, it looks like there's been quite a bit of work there. So for the town's sake, I'm hoping we can have some continuity there. Maybe we figure out how the city does license it through lodger's tax, but then there could be another champion for this app, and we continue to feed it. I certainly want to keep going what we've started and not have another project that kind of dies off after somebody leaves or retires or so on. So I hope we can do that going forward.
Yeah, when the city gets a new community development director, I was going to reach out to them and propose that the city pick this up and make it as an integral part of the marketing strategy.
Good deal. I don't want to push you off, but we got to get to our last agenda item, and we're running late.
Push him off. He took 8 minutes.
I've got a board meeting in 5 minutes, so I got to go.
If we could get a quick update on what's happening with wayfinding from Anon. Yes, so wayfinding is moving forward at long last. We had put it out to bid, and we had 2 companies come in and bid. One was a third of the other one. One was about $140,000 to fabricate the signs and get them up. And the other company, the one that we're going to work with, is P&M Signs in Mountain Air, who does all of the state signs. They own Smokey the Bear. They do all this stuff, and it's a New Mexican family. So we're going with them, and they're $47,000. So we're at the point where Leo and I are going to work on the contract together with them. Leo's working on the contract. Leo and I are going to work on this. We're going to do a visit with their installation person to the sites where the signs are going in town. So that person is Larry Archuleta. He lives here. He'll meet with us. We'll go to the sites and we'll see how difficult it is to do. But they've already given us a figure. And so Leo is working on that contract right now.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So we were hoping to get it done by the end of October. I don't know if we'll do that, but at least we'll get it all sort of ready and they can fabricate and they can look at the locations where they're going. So
good deal. I hope to that our next meeting will have some good news that we've got contracts approved and signs starting to be put up. And so
That'd be great. I'll
right.
definitely let you know what's happening. Thank you so much.
Good deal. All right. If there's not any other discussion than that, I'll entertain. I think that was the last thing on our agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I have a question. I got cut off. I dropped again. But going back to that CCHP application, the app, when we first approved that money, I remember that was a big question. Who was going to maintain that? And
So that
we were given the word that they would maintain it. And now we're back to that old drawing board about maintaining it. That's my question. And I hope.
Well, we lost her again. Virginia, you need
Yeah.
Well, sorry,
I
we
just keep getting dropped. But that was my question about that, because I do specifically remember having that discussion at the meeting when we approved that money.
what we approved was paying for his license, and it was for 1 year. As far as maintenance, for the data on there, I believe that since it was by CCHP and him that they were going to maintain that. I'm not sure if it was going to be for perpetuity. I just when the questions I had when we first started was if it would be better for the city to own the license, and I'm really critical about having the rights to the things that we put on the app that we've paid for, so that we don't lose that information and we don't have a discontinuity. So my hope is that we can work that out going forward, and we can continue on with that and build on it. So we're going to have those questions here hopefully soon as we get another community director and so on, or either way. I believe that he's going to go. Frank's going to go and figure out how we can keep this going.
Okay, because I am in favor of getting that licensing and that particular the app with the city, because we've gotten through many marketing committees and we've lost a lot of data.
Absolutely.
Because they own the rights, and that is it's a lot of time and effort, and especially taxpayers' money going down the drain. So yes, that is a sore point with me, and that's what I have to say before I lose you guys.
Completely agree.
Okay.
Real quick, motion to adjourn.
Yes, I make a motion that we adjourn. Thank you so much.
All right. Second by Alan. Roll call.
Georgina Orteco Unhead.
Yes.
Alan Ayfield.
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.